For this question, we want to find all vertical asymptotes and create a rough sketch of the graph near each asymptote. We're given the function f of x equals 9 over x plus 4. When you're looking for vertical asymptotes, you want the function that you have to be in lowest terms. And that means writing the numerator in factored form, writing the denominator in factored form, and canceling out any common factors before you start solving. So we have a function that is completely factored in the numerator and completely factored in the denominator, and there are no common factors, so that's already done for us. And once that is written in lowest terms, you're going to take the denominator and set it equal to 0 and solve. So we have x plus 4 equals 0. I'm going to subtract 4 and we get x equals negative 4. So this tells us, by doing this process of setting the denominator equal to 0, we're finding where your function is undefined, because division by 0 is undefined. And that location is going to be the location of your vertical asymptote. Now that's true as long as you have written that function in lowest terms, because there's another type of spot where the function is undefined called a hole in the graph or a removable discontinuity. And those can happen if your function isn't in lowest terms. So we know that this is a vertical asymptote because that function was in lowest terms, was completely reduced. Now, we need to know the definition of a vertical asymptote to understand the next part of what we're doing. We're going to draw a rough sketch of the graph. And in order to draw the graph, we need to know what it means to have a vertical asymptote. So what it means is that as x approaches that value, the y will approach infinity or negative infinity. And you can approach this value of negative 4 from either side. You can have x approaching negative 4 from below negative 4, and y can approach infinity or negative infinity. And you can approach negative 4 from above negative 4, and y will approach infinity or negative infinity. So if we want to draw a sketch of the graph, we need to narrow down what's happening when your x is below negative 4 and when your x is above negative 4. So we need to narrow down what is happening with y. Is it approaching infinity or negative infinity on either side? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think of negative 4 on the number line, and I want to choose a number that is just a little bit less than negative 4. And I also want to choose a number that is a little bit more than negative 4. So I'm going to choose negative 4.1 as a number that's a little bit less than negative 4, and negative 3.9 as a number that's a little bit bigger than negative 4. And this can be a little bit confusing because negatives kind of go the opposite way of positive numbers on the number line. So it might be helpful if you label the next numbers that are around it. The next number counting this way would be negative 5, and the next number going this way would be negative 3, and that can help make sure that you're picking the right numbers for being below and above. So I'm going to pick those numbers and substitute them into our function and see what happens. So if I substitute a negative 4.1 into our function, that would give 9 over x plus, not x. We need to plug in negative 4.1 for x. negative 4.1 plus 4, and that gives 9 over negative 0.1, which is going to give you a negative number. So now I know that if I am below negative 4, my y value is going to approach negative infinity. And then I need to do the same thing for being above negative 4. So I'm going to test negative 3.9, which is above negative 4. That's 9 over negative 3.9 plus 4. 9 over 0.1, that's a positive value. And so now I know that if my x is above negative 4, then my y will be approaching positive infinity. So now I'm going to be able to draw the sketch of what is happening near x equals negative 4. So I would have my coordinate plane, and I'm going to count over to negative 4. And at negative 4, we usually draw a dashed vertical line to indicate the location of that vertical asymptote at x equals negative 4. And then as we approach negative 4 from below, we're going to go to negative infinity. So that means that my graph is going to be approaching negative infinity when I'm to the left of negative 4. And my graph, my y values, will approach positive infinity when I am above negative 4. So this gives us a sketch of what's happening near that vertical asymptote at x equals negative 4. Thank you for checking out my videos. Have a great day.